Reproductive 3.8 from Sefisha South Australia. 26 minutes after the hour 5. I've got a Sanel musician, our Akanamadi, featuring something so weird. So I had a barricade music from Lady Zama, like when I know more and more. And I promise you that I will be having a chat or conversation with Jabu Mlandu, Youth Network. Today we're looking into sexual and reproductive health. So, on the line. Jabu, hello.
Welcome. Hello, and hello to your listeners at TEF Radio.
Radio TEF.
Radio TEF.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So, Jabu, I understand that you're having a sort of a session or a talk today, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So can you take us through on what you were sharing with other participants there?
Today we are having a men's dialogue on gender-based violence.
Yeah.
What we are looking to achieve with this dialogue is to understand men's perspective on gender-based violence. Do they really understand what is gender violence? How is it perpetrated? So those were key for us. And what are the contributing factors to gender-based violence when it comes to men, and do they understand the pain, the anger, and the scars that it leaves behind, and how broken families have come about when it comes to gender-based violence? So that was a discussion around men and their understanding.
So can I start with our conversation where we're talking about sexual and reproductive health? So take us through here. What is the meaning of reproductive health?
We must understand it's sexual reproductive health and rights.
Oh, okay.
So you need to break it down and say it's sexual health, which is your health well-being, understanding all the illnesses, the mental health issues when it comes to your sexuality as a whole. So that's why we have sexual health. And then we have your reproductive health, your ability to reproduce. What affects you as a man, what affects your weak erections, your early ejaculations. You need to understand that. As a woman, what happens to your ovaries when you're having your period? How does your menstrual cycle work? So that's part of reproductive health. And then when we talk about reproductive health, it is now part of your decision making. How many kids do I want to have? Do I want kids? What policies is there for contraceptives? Am I allowed to access contraceptives? Am I allowed to terminate pregnancies or do abortion? So those are your reproductive rights. Then your sexual rights. It is now your right of choosing your sexuality. Do I want to be a gay man and identifying as being gay? Your right of orientation, and the right to choose who to marry and who you go to bed with. So those are your sexual rights. Pleasurable sexual encounters. You look into those things. How are you being infringed when you are being sexually violated? Some people are practicing harmful practices like forced circumcision for females, vaginal testing. How is that a violation? Because you need to consent to these things, because if you are being forced, then your human rights are being violated. And human rights are sexual rights and are SRHR rights.
Yeah.
So now one would ask us, how do we now put gender-based violence and reproductive health together?
Yeah.
Gender-based violence, because it's a violation based on gender. It happens in all these forms of violations that I've mentioned. Your sexual violations, it was one taking the right for you to decide because you don't want to have babies or you don't want to have kids. Then you get a partner that is so violent to you and starting beating you up. or punishing you with sexual objects just because, but then that's a gender-based violence, because now there is a violation of your rights, and then you are being abused and you are being beaten for your own body where you have complete control of.
All right. Can you quickly take us through on how does one maintain a good reproductive health?
One, you need to understand your body.
Yeah.
You need to understand your body, and you need to understand your whole well-being. You need to be mentally fit. You need to be emotionally fit. You need to be psychologically fit to maintain one's body. You need to be at peace and understanding who you are, your sexuality as a whole. Remember, these people are still questioning their sexualities, which is not wrong, because they are trying to look where they identify. So if you want to maintain a healthy lifestyle or a healthy sexuality, you need to understand this fear. Are you ready for this sexuality that you identify with? Because it will come with stigma. It will come with discrimination from the opposite side. So you need to mentally be fit. You need to be psychologically fit. You need to be emotionally fit, and also be psychologically, physically fit, because some of your body language also gives the impression to the opposite sexuality. So if you understand that, you can keep a healthy sexuality.
All right. So why is it important that we include boys in this?
Well, Boykana, if I can say this, we are neglecting the boy child for a very long time. And yet, when they grow up, we expect them to be responsible men. Yet, we never gave them mentorship as young boys on how to behave, how to take care of their health, and also psychologically, are they fit to be young adults? So that's very key. So if you look into the programs that we have, we are having all these programs that empowers young women, young girls. So now this empowered young girl is so empowered that is getting to a relationship with an untrained and unempowered young boy. Yeah. Now she talks about her rights. She talks about the obligations that comes with her rights. She knows where she stands. And now this confused young boy doesn't know where she stands. And then that causes insecurities. Insecurities is like fear. It makes you panic, and immediately when you panic, you react in a forceful way. So that's why you find our young boys are being kind of looked at as perpetrators or perceived as perpetrators. Is because they don't understand their role within relationship. They don't understand their role within society, and they don't understand the rights that they have and the obligation to the rights of the opposite gender. So that is very key for us to train those young men to understand that. So mentorship is key.